Hey, what's going on, guys? I thought today we would revisit the Mattel DC Universe Wave 16 Collect and Connect Bane figure. This review was originally posted back in May 10th, 2011, so about 6 years old. Let's get some measurements going for Bane, the Collect and Connect figure. If you were to have collected and connected Bane, well, you're standing your Bane roughly at about 8 inches tall. Give or take. It might actually be closer to 8.5 inches when you factor into the very top of his helmet or his mask, but it's about 8.5 inches tall. Getting some other scale comparisons in, there he is next to a regular DC Universe. This happens to be DC Universe Black Cowl Batman, still one of my personal favorites. If I can actually get him to properly stand, that is. There he is. There he is next to Bane. You can see that he goes roughly to about the pectoral area of Bane. So it's a good substantial size between the regular DC Universe size figures, which are closer to, let's get an actual measurement going for those, they're 6.5 inches tall, so Bane's towering over him by a good 1.5 inches. Let's move the figure out of the way here. Yes, Bane is one of my personal favorite Collect and Connect figures. Kind of should have had a Bane month, really, considering I just did the Nightfall Bane. But this is one of my favorite Banes. Certainly, he also is more posable than some of the other Banes, be Nightfall and the Superheroes Bane that was released a while ago in the camo print in his little teddy bear. Now, this one was collected over the course of building, or buying, I should say, the DC Universe Wave 16 figures. And I think a much rewarding experience getting this guy fully built, as Bane really should be towering over the other figures. You could not have done this guy as a regular standard-sized figure. Bane had to be a lot bigger, I think, in stature. So what he has is just his black pants, a pair of nice, shiny black boots, I might add, and they've even gone and painted in some of the silver little looplets for where the laces will tie through. So I like that they didn't just simply paint the whole thing a shiny black. I also like the fact that the boots are shiny versus the regular matte color of the leggings. The pants, having them the same color as the boots is fine, but making the black here shinier really makes those boots certainly stand out. Of course, his mask is a go-to classic Bane mask. Before they update Bane, having, of course, like his lips visible in some cases, changing up the mask. The mask roughly stays about the same throughout the incarnations of Bane, other than, of course, the Nolan Bane, which had the walrus mask. But coloring on him is good, very minimal, of course, because he's only really got black. He's got the white there in his mask, and, of course, the red in his eyes, or the eye portions of his mask. Done a nice job on service of putting in a zipper, a nice silver zipper running from the front all the way to the back, where you can see the hose of the Venom going right to the back of his head there. The hose is a translucent green, a rubbery translucent green tube, which runs all the way down into the gauntlet portion of his forearm. Got a little bit of coloring going there as well, some red and some green to break that up so it's not just all black plastic. The gloves are also a nice touch, incorporating some of that shinier black paint, the same akin to his boots, and some sculpting on the undersoles of his boots go a long way as well. I appreciate that. All around, a great looking figure. I guess one thing I would nitpick for this figure, it might have also been what I nitpicked back in May 10th of 2011, was the fact that his arms are a decent enough color, but they felt the need to add this excessive amount of orange tan, faux tan. If he was coming to a Batman party, people would be whispering amongst themselves, "Oh my God, Bane is so faux tan." I mean, it does look like something that you would have just sprayed on prior to a weightlifting fitness competition. Despite that, some nice sculpting there in his torso, as well as his mammoth-sized back. There's a lot of muscle in that back of Bane. The singlets, or his tank top here, is a rubbery plastic. It is actually a separate piece from the rest of his torso. I suppose in theory you could take it off. Why would you want to, is the question I would be asking. But that, in a nutshell, is a Bane. To be more exact, the Bane from DC Universe Classics 16. Let's run through his posability. Head is on a very nice ball joint, but of course, rotating the head, it's so much about going that way, but when you rotate the head this way, you're going to be adding a lot of stress to the tube that you want to be careful of that. The arms hinge outward. They don't seem limited at all by the tube being in the way. And you can get the arm to about there before you start noticing, about there I guess, before you of course start rolling up the tube and causing a potential break there. Rotation in the bicep. He's got a hinged elbow and a rotation in the wrist. All common stuff. This is nothing new to the table. An upper torso crunch. And because the little tank top portion of his outfit is a separate piece, you still get that nice crunch in the ab going where it doesn't get obstructed basically by this fighting against it. This is a nice loose piece, so it stays out of the way. A rotation in the waist. It's got a forward and back motion on the leg, a split on the thigh. It's got a 3/4, give or take, or 1/4 cut on the thigh, a swivel going there. A hinge in the knee, a rotation in the boot, and a hinge in your foot. As I mentioned in previous videos, there are some figures I have sold over the course of time. Well, you've seen my collection video now. If you haven't, go check that out. It's remarkable that for a guy that has figures like this, you think I would venture into maybe getting, I don't know, lighting. But it's something I'm working on. These figures eventually I want to get on display, and while some of them I have sold, there are certain, well, for example, the DC Universe figures here, there are some that I've still kept. Ones that really resonated for me as being cool figures. I think I still got the Solomon Grundy. I know I have the Solomon Grundy. I think I might still have the Chemo. Chemo. I think I still have him. I hope I did, because he's one of the cooler figures as well. Other ones I might have passed on, and I might have just sold them over the course of time. I'm really, though, glad that I picked up this guy. Not only is he bigger than Batman, which he should be, but he's a fully posable Bane, which is the one thing I've always really wanted with a Bane figure, and I didn't really get with the DC Direct figures until basically this guy was released. You guys could probably find this on an aftermarket now, where somebody's just selling the built Bane, where you don't actually have to collect all the Wave 16 to get this guy put together. If you can find him, I would still say after all these years, this is still a great Bane that you would want to add to your collection. Today we were revisiting a throwback of the Mattel DC Universe Wave 16 Collect and Connect Bane. Did it about 6 years ago, decided to do it again. If there's other figures that you would like to see that I've done videos for before, you'd like to see me do them again, let me know down below. And if I still have the figures, of course I'll entertain the idea of reviewing them once again. If you guys also haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that little subscribe button down below. And if you are a fan of the older DC Universe figures, I've got a playlist there that you can go back and check out all those figures. I've basically done most, if not all, the waves. I think there's about 2 waves that I didn't actually pick up over the course of my collecting, but certainly all the other ones there are there for your viewing pleasure. Thanks, guys. See you next time.